All right, welcome. Today, we're going to sharpen one of the most powerful skills a reader can have, becoming a word detective. I'm going to show you how to figure out pretty much any new word you come across and get this, without even touching a dictionary. You know that feeling, right? You're cruising through a great story, and then, bam, you hit a word that just stops you in your tracks. It's so frustrating, totally breaks your concentration, but hey, that's all about to change.
So, what if I told you that most of the time, the author has already left you a secret decoder ring? Seriously, the solution is actually hidden in plain sight, right there in the words around the tricky one. And that secret weapon is called context.
Okay, take a look at this. It's the perfect way to understand context. That picture on the left? I mean, what is that? Some kind of weird pattern? But then you see the picture on the right. With the bees in the bigger hive, you instantly know it's a honeycomb. Well, words work the exact same way.
So, let's get a proper definition on the books. Context clues are just what they sound like. Hence, the author leaves inside a sentence or a paragraph to help you figure out what a new word means. I like to think of them like little breadcrumbs the author leaves behind to lead you right to the answer.
All right, so every good detective needs a toolkit, right? Well, writers leave behind specific types of clues, and once you learn how to spot them, you can crack any case. So let's crack open our toolkit and see what we've got.
First up, we've got maybe the easiest one to spot, the definition clue. This is awesome because the author just straight up tells you what the word means, right there in the same sentence. No mystery at all.
Check this out. It's a perfect example. You see the word limber, and maybe you're not sure what that is, but boom, right after it, you get or flexible. The author just hands you the answer. It's fantastic.
So you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled for these signal words. When you see phrases like or, that is, or in other words, think of them like a giant neon sign flashing definition up ahead.
Okay, tool number 2 in our kit is the example clue. In this case, instead of giving a direct definition, the author shows you what the word looks like in the real world by giving you, well, examples. So, in this sentence, maybe you've never heard of kindling before. But look what comes next. Such as dry twigs and branches. Right away, your brain puts it together. Kindling must be that small, dry stuff you use to get a fire going. Easy.
And just like before, there are some classic signal words to look out for. Phrases like such as, for example, and including are basically a heads up that some helpful examples are on the way. All right, our third tool is a really clever one, the comparison clue. This is where the writer links an unknown word to something you do know, something familiar, to help you make a connection.
So, maybe you don't know what luminous means, but I bet you know what the rays of the sun look like, right? By saying her face was like the sun's rays, the author paints this amazing picture. We instantly get it. Luminous means something bright, glowing, just full of light.
The big ones here are, of course, as and like. But you'll also see things like similar to or in the same way. I like to think of these words as a little bridge connecting the new word to an idea that's already safe and sound in your brain.
Okay, for our final tool, we're going to flip things around a bit. It's called the contrast clue, and it's where the author helps you figure out what a word means by telling you what it's the opposite of. It's pretty clever.
Okay, so look at this sentence. A tree fell and obstructed traffic. Then you see that magic word, however. That's our signal. An opposite idea is coming. The second part says the path was clear. So if it wasn't clear, what was it? It must have been blocked. So obstructed means blocked. See how that works? So yeah, words like unlike, but, however, and on the other hand are your big clues here. When you see one of these, it's like a little warning sign for your brain to get ready for an opposite idea. And that opposition is often the key that unlocks the whole thing. All right, enough with the theory. It's time to put these detective skills into practice with a real case study. We're taking our toolkit out into the field. Let's take a look at a sentence about elephants. Okay, here is our piece of evidence. The word we're investigating is migrate. Take a second, read that sentence. The clue is hiding in plain sight. Time to put on your detective hat. So, did you spot it? What's the clue here? Which group of words in that sentence basically says the same thing as migrate? The answer is right there, I promise.
You got it.
There it is. The clue is that little phrase right after, moving from place to place. The author just gave us a textbook definition clue, pretty much defining the word right after they used it. So now we know migrate just means moving from one place to another. Simple. Case closed.
And just like that, you've got the 4 main tools for your detective kit. You're not helpless anymore when you hit a weird word. You are officially a word detective, ready to solve these little mysteries all on your own.
And really, that's the big takeaway here. When you have this toolkit, you're not just passively reading anymore. You're an active, confident, and independent reader. You have the power to figure things out on your own. So, I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Think about it. Every single book, every article you read, it's a whole new world just waiting for you to explore. And now that you have the keys, what new worlds are you gonna unlock?